In week 2, we're going to be talking about meditation. The end of this week, you'll have a super easy daily practice that you can start doing to build more resilience. Before we dive into a couple of really awesome studies, I want to bust a couple of different myths around meditation. So the myth that I want to bust is that meditation is boring. A lot of times when people first start meditation, the only thing they can think is, oh my God, is it over yet? I am so bored. Meditation initially feels boring because it feels different than the way that we normally access and utilize our brain. Meditation itself is not boring. What is boring to your brain, which is ultimately what your brain fears, is letting go of control. I'm going to show you just how powerful the effects of meditation can be on the brain. Now, one of the things that a lot of these studies have shown is that individuals who have had a meditation practice for a long period of time, 5, 10, 15 years, actually have less decrease in the amount of volume that they lose in their brain as they age. We know that human beings in general tend to have the areas of their cortex shrink. Over time, we tend to forget things, be a little bit more irritable, and have trouble focusing more. This can lead to a lot of different issues. However, what's interesting is that this is significantly lower in people who meditate daily. So the first study that was done by a team of scientists at Harvard found that long-term meditators had an increase in the amount of gray matter volume in their insula and other sensory cortex regions. And this makes sense. If you are paying attention to your environment, you're going to be more aware of the sounds that are happening around you, of the smells that are happening around you, of what it is that you're seeing. They also found that the frontal cortex of the brain had more gray matter. That's the area that helps us with working memory and decision-making skills. How amazing would it be that by the time that you got to 50 or 60, you were still operating mentally as if you were in your mid-20s to early 30s? That's what meditation can do when you start creating a long-term practice. Well, how long would it take to get to that place? They took individuals who had never meditated before and they took them through an 8-week process. In just 8 weeks of doing a daily meditation practice, they found that there was actually increase in density in these 4 different areas of the brain: the posterior cingulate, left hippocampus, temporoparietal junction. Now, the last area that got more dense was a brainstem area called the pons. That means that just through meditation, you can start to build more resilience into your nervous system. And this was further evidenced by the fact the amygdala, which is where our fight-flight response comes from, actually shrunk in these participants. And this makes complete sense. Through meditation, we are able to stop our mind from wandering as much, focus on being less selfish, get to a place where we can learn lessons and regulate our emotions so that we can have a better perspective on life, being more empathetic and compassionate towards other people. Then naturally, we're going to build more resilience into our nervous system because we're essentially going to be teaching our brain that there's not that many threats out there in the world. Now that we understand some of the benefits of meditation and even some of the neuroscience behind what's happening in the brain, let's talk about the pillars of a good meditation practice. First pillar is body relaxation. Relaxation is not something where we're just totally laxed. That puts a lot of stress on the body. As we start losing that form, we start getting into a more unconscious place where eventually we nod off and we fall asleep. When we are in meditation, I want you to think about, as you relax through your tissue, can you also stretch up at the same time? This creates a small activation in the body that allows you to stay conscious even as you drop into deeper states of meditation. The second pillar is mental focus. Wherever you place your attention, that's where your energy is going to move. If when we are sitting in meditation, we're thinking about, oh, I got this email that I got to check. Did I end up walking the dog? Or actually, no, wait, I have a cat. Why was I even talking about a dog? All of this is just noise. We want to be able to get to a state where when we decide where we want our mind to be placed, it remains there. The third pillar is breath. It's one of the easiest anchors to create a meditative state as you go throughout your day. No matter what situation you are in, nobody can take your breath away from you. It is the most valuable resource because it's literally what keeps you alive. Beyond that, it's an incredible anchor back to the present moment. The fourth pillar is awareness. Awareness is almost like a flashlight in a dark room. It's how we tune ourselves to what's happening in our reality. It starts to make everything clear. The next pillar is observation, watching our experiences in a non-judgmental and compassionate state. Not good, it's not bad, it's not right, it's not wrong, it just simply is. So as you do this in meditation, you will then start to take this into your day and you'll start observing your day through that awareness in a non-judgmental state. The final pillar pillar is the most important, which is absorption, becoming one with the experience itself. Absorption is the final rung on this ladder, but if you don't set yourself up appropriately, you can't get to that final rung. Think about these different pillars: relaxing the body and stretching through the tissue, focusing the mind and setting the intention, focusing on the breathing to bring yourself into the present moment, opening up your awareness to all of the things that are happening around you, simply observing them. As you observe them, they start to lose their pull. You can then absorb yourself into the experience of being in a meditative state. So now that you understand the benefits of meditation, what I want to do in the next video is talk a little bit more about how you set up your space appropriately for the daily meditation exercise that you're going to be doing this week and throughout the rest of the program. So I'll see you in the next video.